All right, guys, we are doing an unexpected live stream here on the channel, and this is going to be more of a unique video presentation. This is going to be talking primarily about fiction publishing, though if you are in nonfiction or low content, hang in there, stay tuned. I think you're going to get some really great ideas that are applicable to your business. So this is going to be live, and we are going to take questions as they come along. This is completely unscheduled, so I don't expect a lot of questions, but in any case, welcome. We're going to cover in this video best practices for 2020 when it comes to your fiction publishing brand, particularly with romance. In the world of fiction, I specialize in romance publishing, and that's what I'm going to be talking about. So this is what has worked best for myself and for my team, with stellar results that can be backed up and that are pretty substantial. So with results that I've seen this year, they are much better than what I have experienced last year with predictability and actual success in romance publishing. So let's get started. Success for your author brand. What I'm going to talk about today are three key elements that will help drive success for your author brand. Pre-orders, setting your books to full price, and providing back matter to your sequel as a pre-order. So I'm going to go into each of these bit by bit and explain what I'm talking about for each of these elements. So again, we're going to talk about how to set pre-orders to your book and why it's so imperative that you do so for your book brand, why you should set your books to full price meaning more than 99 cents, ideally between $2.99 through $3.99 for an individual book, and then in the back of your book, providing the link to the pre-order of your sequel. So let's go on and talk about each of these. So awesome, we already have someone. Hey, Boo Baker, thanks for finding our channel here. I think you're going to really enjoy this presentation. Where are you from, and are you currently publishing? What do you currently publish for? Let me know. So we're going to take questions as we go through the presentation, and let's do this. So let me talk about pre-orders. If you haven't figured out already, or if you were not aware, you can actually set your book to be available on pre-order, in which you can secure sales for your book before it's published, before it's even written. So what better way to secure the success of your book than with pre-orders? So what pre-orders allow you to do, granted, I think to my knowledge, you can set a pre-order as soon as 1 week in advance of releasing to up to, I believe, more than a year. And I'll talk about the window on up to a year on setting the pre-order, but I'll talk about the specific window and what's ideal for your release, as I know that's going to come up soon. Hey, Sunana. Hey, Book Your Glow Up. How's it going? And started KDP 2 months ago. Good. So you came right in with 2020. You've made 300 euros since then. Awesome. Hope that's profit. If you have any questions about publishing, put them in the comments, man, and I'd be glad to help you. So pre-orders, once you have them set up, what the benefits of setting up your books for pre-order is that, number one, they help secure sales before the live release of your book. Imagine whether you're an author or maybe you're a publisher that outsources and produces content. What better way to get paid for publishing than to get your pre-order sales up and start with confidence that releasing on day one of your book, you have already $200, $500 in your pocket that helps contribute towards your bottom line and towards hopefully potentially breaking even with your production and getting a head start on making this a viable, profitable business for you. So pre-orders help greatly with that. I find that pre-orders also provide predictability of launch success. So what I have seen is that if you are on the money, if everything's on point, you've got this hot book, people love your brand, your cover, they're going to pre-order your book, believe it or not. Even if you are, what I have seen this myself, I know what I'm talking about here. Even if you have not yet published a single book for a pen name, your very first book can go on pre-order, and you can still get sales if your launch looks appealing and exciting to consumers. So if everything's on the money, so to speak, with getting 15, 20 pre-orders a day, which I consider to be a very good pace, you know your launch is going to be hot. You know that it's appealing to the masses. It's going to be received well by the market, and you are looking at potentially top 100 potential in the Amazon store. Now, to contrast with that, because not every launch obviously goes well, if you're struggling with pre-orders and you're only getting 1, 2 pre-orders a day, maybe you're only getting 3 pre-orders a week, okay, then you know, well, maybe this book is not going to be the breakout wonder that I was hoping for. I can now predict that this is going to be received lukewarm by my audience. And now I know, okay, maybe I should do some damage control. I should perhaps scale back my marketing campaign that I had in terms of ad spend for my book. And then I can employ a different strategy to where maybe I more rely on using my email list to promote my book, which is free to do. Or I can use swaps, not review swaps, but you can swap with authors, newsletter promotions, and do that for free, and employ that as a strategy to help you faster break even on your book. Because you know, if your book doesn't have success with its pre-order period, your ad spend will lead to running campaigns that may not convert and may not yield profitability in doing so. So look, we all have good releases and we all have bad releases, let's face it. So when you are faced up with a bad release, at least you know you can do damage control and come up and adapt with a strategy that will help you minimize losses, maybe even break even and gain a few, and just move on to the next book in your series, or just move on to the next series, period. And third, what is especially pertinent to 2020 is that we are finding great conversion rates with pre-orders. Arguably, I would say conversion rates on pre-orders seem better than last year. I can't say better than ever, but certainly better than last year. People are more apt to setting up pre-orders, and people are actually buying pre-ordered books. So yeah, I mean, in spite of the current climate right now economically with the whole coronavirus, and besides that, that's not the whole point of this video, but people are placing pre-orders, and I have seen to where people are running ads driving traffic to pre-orders, and if they're not breaking even on the pre-order revenue, they're actually making a profit. So imagine what better scenario than to have a pre-order period that actually makes you a profit. Then you can use that profit as ad spend, or you can just pocket it, I guess, for your live release. Best way to go. So those are my 3 best practices. And actually, best practices are coming right up right now. So those are why you should set up pre-orders for every book in your fiction brand. So best practices for pre-orders. What I've found work best is a minimum window of 2 weeks for pre-orders. And you know what? Having a longer pre-order window is fine. So I would say if you're doing like a 1 week pre-order window, you can't really get a lot of traction in 1 week. It's hard to really get people pumped up when they know the live release is coming up relatively soon. So I would recommend a minimum 2 week window for your pre-order period. Now, if you want to go longer, I typically recommend going longer for myself, my brand, and for clients. You can go as far out as 2 or even 3 months, and that's fine. So, and there is a setting with pre-orders to where you are required within 3 days of the deadline of your launch to provide the final manuscript of your book. So what I personally do, I'll set out my pre-order launch to 4 months out just to give myself a safety net. So, while my book is being written, while it's getting edited, formatted, whatever, what have you, even if there's delays in the whole process, That's okay. I have leniency in being able to move back my pre-order window when I'm ready to finally release my book. And let's say I set my pre-order release to June of this year. I can then, once I have my book in my hands, say, okay, this is going to be ready April 1st. I can roll back my pre-order to April 15th, and I'm totally safe in doing that. So longer pre-order windows are ideal. Now, that being said, and why my second point here is in bold, you must, in order for pre-orders to be successful for you, you need to stay consistent with gaining pre-order sales. So that means you need, in some method, to be able to drive pre-order traffic sales, whether that's on platform, such as running Amazon ads to your pre-order product page. You can do that. Whether it's using Facebook traffic, which I find superior to Amazon ads in terms of efficiency with cost, you can do that. You can also utilize your email list. You can post in other, with permission, you can post in other author groups. You can promote in book groups on Facebook, Reddit, wherever have you. But the name of the game with pre-order sales is consistency. So you want to make sure at the very minimum, if you're going to do this, that you run some kind of paid traffic campaign to keep your sales consistent. And by consistency, look, if you can get at least like 5 pre-orders a day, it can sound daunting, but it's definitely more than achievable. That's going to be great traction for you. Imagine with even as few as 5 pre-orders a day, for a month, you're getting 150 pre-order sales. At full price, that's a $300 royalty at $2.99. And if you run this for 2 months, double that number. That's some pretty significant money you're securing already. Now, related to full price, my third point, don't set up pre-orders for 99-cent books. Contrary to what other people might tell you, I have tried the whole 99-cent route back and forth. And yeah, 99-cent books do have its merit in getting page reads with a certain strategy. But look, your royalty share on a 99-cent book when someone buys it is 30 cents. So imagine you take all this effort, all this time and money on getting 100 pre-orders. For 100 pre-orders at 99 cents, you're only making 30 bucks. Are you in this business to make 30 bucks? Okay, like that's such a waste of effort compared to where if you have your price at $2.99, you're gonna make a $200 revenue. So I mean, compare that, $30 versus $200. That's almost a 7x difference. So take my advice on this. It makes logical sense. Set your pre-order price to $2.99 minimum. Don't bother with doing pre-orders for 99-cent books. So if you have any questions about pre-orders, guys, I can't see right now how many are live. I'm using OBS, but if you have any questions, feel free to ask them and we'll get it addressed. Next, okay, related to full pricing your books. Why full price? Okay, 99 cents infers that your books could be of lesser quality. So imagine that you can even look at the top 100 or even the top 1,000 of books. Good authors typically, not always, but typically will price their books at least $2.99, sometimes $3.99, in some occasions $4.99, at the very extreme $7.99 for an ebook. 99 cents kind of denotes that your brand is of lesser quality than the competition. And if you're in romance, at the higher levels, there is immense competition. So that can already not necessarily put off readers, but you're giving like subliminal signals that, okay, my brand is not on point as it could be, and this is going to merit. I only have the confidence that my book is worth buying 99 cents. And as I said, it's harder to make profits overall with 99-cent books. Is it possible? Of course. Will you get more page reads selling 99-cent books in the short term, not counting ad spend and margin, yes, it's easier to get page reads with 99-cent books. But again, consider, is it really worth your time making 100 live sales if you're only going to get 30 cents per sale? No. Why would you do that when you could be making $2 or even $3 per sale? So what I'm going to say is that $2.99 is ideal for most authors who are willing to go full price, and I'll go more into details to what can justify full price. I would say $2.99 is the sweet spot for you self-published authors out there. I'm going to say it's applicable to 95% of you. For those of you who go above and beyond in production quality, and I'll get into that point, the very upper limit I would ever go on a book is $3.99, and that's going to be like a longer book, something with a great cover, great production value overall, and I'll go into those elements in a bit. So with full pricing your books, the best practices for full price. Look, you can't just come out the gate and say, hey, I decided I want to be $2.99. It doesn't work like that. You have to justify why you're going to be a $2.99 book brand. And this is going to be easier actually for newer authors who don't have a catalog established yet. It's going to be, as such, more difficult for existing authors that already have an existing catalog of books. Imagine if you already have 15 books published, they're all 99 cents, you have this considerable fan base. And you suddenly have your next book out at $2.99. It's like, whoa, what just happened? Like, what are you trying to pull a fast one on me? I've been loyal to you as a reader for the past year, and there's this spike jump in your price. Like, your book is not necessarily any different or any better from other releases. So it's like, what the hell? Is it possible to transition an existing author brand to $2.99? Yes, it is. It's possible. It does take work, and it will alienate some readers. But with what I'm going to tell you next, with the right steps taken in place, you can make $2.99 a successful transition for your author brand. So Amazon stresses a great experience to the customer. And as such, with books, we need to provide a great reader experience. And for $2.99, we need to give our readers and justify our price for that, a great reader experience. So what entails a great reader experience? Okay, what I have seen work best in terms of best practice, minimum 50,000 word books in romance. If you're in another genre, you might want to consult with an expert on what is considered a decent length book. But in romance, the minimum you're going to look at for full price is 50,000 words. You can go certainly longer. You can do 70,000, even 80,000 words. That's actually advantageous. If you can get read through, you're going to get more page reads than a 50,000 word book. Now, that being said, by virtue of having a longer book, that's not enough. You need to make sure your book is actually well written. So that means, don't cut corners. Don't try to find some $1 per 100 word author on Upwork. I'll be honest, I've never seen a stellar writer at $1 per 100 words for romance. It doesn't exist. So when it comes to writing before any other costs, the minimum you're going to have to pay is $1.50, and that's just for writing. So what I have seen also, in addition to writing being a key component, okay, when you're tabulating costs, almost as much as the production of the book that you should invest in is editing. So this is going to be a little bit of a revelation or a surprise to some of you out there listening. Maybe not. But editing is arguably as important, if not maybe even more important in some cases, for your manuscript and for your writing. So that means readers expect a zero typo book. I mean, in my experience, look, I'm an author. In the world of powerlifting, I've written books I've been docked. I've been hit with like 2-3 star reviews that have said, great book, amazing content, but there were, out of 130 pages, I found 2 typos. So rightfully so, I fixed those typos. But you can't put off writers with typos, grammatical errors, tense disagreements, and what have you. So take the time, take that then the money and effort to find a good editor on Upwork or elsewhere and get that book properly edited and proofread. In terms of editing costs, it's going to be, if you're looking for a credible editor, it's going to cost you at least a couple $100, if not maybe even up to $500 or $600 on the high end for your book. The longer your book is, usually the more the editing is going to cost. But if you're really serious about this business and reaching the higher levels of the industry, you can't BS your way. You need to have a well-produced work. And so with that, writing and editing, what's the first impression that a reader is going to have of your book brand is your cover. So you need great cover design. Can pre-made covers work for your brand? I would say it could be like for a 99-cent book, that's fine. But when it comes to like $2.99 and up, you need to like either stand out and be different, and or have a higher quality book appearance. So don't go on freaking Fiverr looking for a $5 or $10 cover designer. Look for someone that's at least, well, I'm not going to give price points, but look at someone's portfolio. Maybe consult with someone that's experienced, maybe an author, maybe even me if you want, hit me up and look at the portfolio and ask yourself, is this portfolio that I'm seeing showcasing covers that I can stand behind and say, wow, readers are going to love this. It looks unique. It looks high quality. It doesn't look rushed or generic. So that comes into play. Now, I know I'm going through each of these elements relatively quickly, but I don't want to drag this out into a 1-hour video. So I'm just shooting out these elements for best practices. If you have any questions, if you're live, hit me up in the live chat. Otherwise, leave a comment in the video comments below once I'm done, and I'll be sure to provide you more detail. Last, a great blurb. So a blurb is kind of like telling you what's going to happen or what's to come with the story you're about to purchase or not purchase. And so you can't have some like monotone description. This is not nonfiction where you like say, oh, we're going to talk about such and such in this book. Will such and such find the billionaire boss to be her future husband? Like, no. You need to be captivating. You need to be engaging. And at the end of a great blurb is usually a cliffhanger or a reason why someone should read the book. So if you have questions about blurbs, I would say right now in the industry, Sunana is a great source for either learning more about blurbs or even having your blurbs done. So that's something she provides at a service, and she can coach you as well if you want to learn more about blurb writing. So if you have any questions about full price, hit me up. And let's move on now to the last element here. And this is going to be a much shorter part of this presentation. Adding the sequel to your book as a pre-order in the back of your book. So this is something that I think does really well for anyone running a marketing campaign, is that this helps you secure more revenue for your current release. So it kind of like kills 2 birds with 1 stone. So imagine if you are spending $10 and you've sold 10 copies of your book, okay, that's $20. But if you have like a 1-page promo in the back of your book and someone secures the pre-order, you're making more revenue for your ad spend. So that helps you get a better return on your investment with marketing dollars. And it also helps you establish the success of your sequel. Likewise, you can gauge, is my sequel going to be super hot or is it going to be lukewarm? You can predict that better as well. But I would say for all of you out there, set up, if you want, the sequel as a pre-order in the back of your book. And I think that's pretty simple and straightforward. It's not in anything in violation with Amazon's terms of service. One-page promo, back of the book. You don't even have to provide a bonus chapter. Don't even, if you want to play it safe, don't bother. One-page promo is always perfectly fine with Amazon's terms of service. So yeah, that's about it. If you've been listening all the way through, first, congratulations and thank you for going through this with me. If you're interested in learning more about romance publishing with romance fiction, if you're an author that wants to scale up and maybe make this a more successful venture for yourself, or you're perhaps seeing this as a possible business opportunity because romance is the #1 genre in terms of sales right now on Amazon, and it is arguably the fastest way to scale up your publishing business with pure revenue. So whether you are an author or you're a biz ops person, book a free call with me. No pressure to buy anything. There's zero pressure call. We'll just see what works as a best fit for you. Go to romancepublishingacademy.com. Be sure to just fill out your email. You'll get a free playbook with what's working best more with 2020 and romance publishing, and book that call with me. So you'll be able to spend a 45-minute call with me. We'll go over what's working for you right now, what you're looking to do this year with publishing, and we'll hopefully be able to identify some opportunity for you this year and see if we can perhaps partner together, see if that's a good fit, and make this publishing business work for you in the way of romance. So that's all I've got to say, guys. Hope this was of value to you. Any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments below. Let me know what other content you'd like to see, whether it's fiction or nonfiction. I'd like to do a little bit more of these presentations, keep these a little bit more formal and professional, and hit you guys up with some knowledge you might not have otherwise known. And otherwise, I'm always around. Find me on Facebook, and I will see you later. Take care.